Hey, what's up, YouTube? So I made a video about this situation, about the economic crisis that we are currently in, and eh, I just like to elaborate a little bit on that. So, as you know, our economy is fucked up right now. We are in a economic crisis coming out of this COVID thing, where a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their homes. The homeless rate has skyrocketed, um, and people are in need of help and assistance now more than ever. Um, and we are trying to recover, but this recovery is not going well at all. It's almost like we can't recover. Um, the economic system is collapsing right in front of us almost. Uh, so how did we get here? Is the point here? Um, so if you have when you look at history and you look at productivity versus wages, um, they have incrementally stayed the same. So as productivity in the United States increased, so did the wages. They were fairly relatively uh, coincidental, very close. So as the productivity increases, so does the wages, which makes sense. So what these companies did, because companies, businesses, they're about making profits, which will come at an expense to you, the consumer, because you're the one paying for it. Well, what they did is they outsourced jobs. A lot of these companies, manufacturing stuff, they set up shops, manufacturing warehouses in China, South America, um, a lot of foreign countries that were very poor because they had the labor. They would do the labor there for pennies. Whereas over here, uh, you know, Americans require more. The cost of living here, we have a higher standard of living. Um, Americans are educated better. We have a good public education system, which is that's questionable when I say good. But compared to these third world countries like China, South America, where they have no school at all, some of them don't even go to elementary, don't even finish elementary school. Like they are very bad shape there. So they take advantage. What these companies do is they take advantage of that situation. They know that those people will work for nothing or damn near nothing. So over here, you might be paying someone $10 an hour. Over there, they're gonna pay them like 50 cents an hour. You know, uh, modern day slavery. That's what it is. So what these companies did is they start taking American jobs, these jobs that were here in America, said, "Oh, we want to save money, so we're gonna send our these jobs to China. Get them. We got somebody else that can do it cheaper." You know, um, and from a business point of view, I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Um, However, you're going to lose a lot of people. It affects the society. How it affects society over here is now you have a less jobs. A very it decreases the supply of occupation available. So when I was, your parents growing up, me growing up, uh, everybody has this, American dream where what used to be the norm would be like your mother would stay at home, the father would go work, and he could make a decent wage or living so that, mom could stay at home, cook, clean, keep the family together. Um, kind of like the backbone of the family. Have dinner ready, so that saves money, clean up and stuff like that. Help the kids with the homework, take care of the chores, run the errands and stuff like that. So when dad come home, boom, he got his meal ready. Kids come home, meal ready. Take care of the laundry, take care of the house, take care of the home. Okay. So that was true up until like the Great Depression, World War II. So during that time, uh, men went off to war. So, the women went and filled the positions of the men. They went into the workforce. So when the men came back from the war, now you have twice as many employees out here, twice as many people looking for work. But there wasn't really an increase in available jobs. So basic economics, supply and demand. You've got more of a supply of employees and workers, but the demand is not the demand, or the jobs has not changed. You still got the same amount of jobs, but twice as many workers. So there's a lot of competition amongst people. So why should I give you a raise when I can get your wife to do it for cheaper? She don't want no extra money. I'll get your wife to do it. Why should I give you a raise? So supply and demand. Also, another thing is the banks had some very shady practices. They were giving out loans to basically anybody, and they started defaulting on these loans. The economy, we got into the depression. People couldn't pay back these loans. The banks didn't have the money. They weren't recouping any of the money from the loans. So they got the federal government basically bailed them out. So they said the federal government will back you up. And basically, we'll print as much money as you need. We'll just give you whatever you want. So basically, at that point, the banks were no longer, banks anymore. They were actually federal, or became a part of the federal government at that time, whether you know it or not. So anyways, so like I said, wages and productivity in the United States were basically the same up until about the 1970s, after the Great Depression, when the women came to work. Now you got twice as many employees, but you still got the same amount of jobs. Supply and demand. So at that time, productivity, because Americans got a good public education, pretty skilled compared to other countries. So we are, have, usually we are very more productive. We work better. We're more efficient. So our productivity continued to increase. But employers, they stopped increasing the wages. They kind of plateaued. The wages didn't increase anymore. It's around the 1970s. But the productivity continued to increase. So employers, this is like a wet dream for employers. They're like, oh my God, like we're getting even more production, more productivity. Our profits are going through the roof, and we're not giving out any increase in wages. So they're making making money hand over fist here, becoming stupid rich. And so what happens is, instead of giving credit to the people that break their backs and do all the hard work, instead of giving them credit and compensating them for their increased productivity, for their hard work, the CEOs in the company said, we're goddamn geniuses. We are so smart because our productivity has increased, we're doing so good here in this company, and it's all because of me, the CEO, because I'm so damn good at my job of doing nothing, of not giving out raises. I'm so good at fucking the employees with no lube. I deserve a raise. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. So from the 1970s, this is how you got, this is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because the cost of living is increasing, right? Inflation, it's usually about 6 to 7, 8% every year. So the cost of living is going up. Inflation, the dollar becomes worth less, but you're not getting any increase in wages. So the cost of living is going up, but you're not, your income is not going up. So prior to this, like I said, usually the man would go to work, the wife would stay at home. Now you got husband and wife both going to work. Okay? Like I said, there's more competition, more employees out here. So instead of sticking together and saying, hey, doing this labor union stuff, getting these labor unions to come together and demanding more wages, higher wages, people are desperate. They like, I'm just gonna take the job. I'm just gonna suck it up and do it, and not ask for an increase in wage or a raise or whatever. And companies took advantage of this. They were like, well, we'll just send it over to China. We'll get the Chinese to do it. You know what I mean? Screw you. And that's exactly what they did. They screwed you. So ever since the 1970s, the CEOs have been taking what should have been your raise, what should have been your retirement. They also cut pensions out. They cut retirement out. They started taking away health care from a lot of these. They stopped offering, health care, pensions, retirement, all this stuff. They started cutting your benefits also. So, a lot of jobs used to come with like very nice benefits packages. They started eliminating that. That now, and that goes to the CEO. I'm saving money here. This is all my idea. I'm a genius. I should be rewarded. And that's what happened. So that's what started happening. Like you started seeing all these CEOs. Everyone wanted to say, "Oh, I want to be a CEO now," because they were making crazy money. Because they're supposed to be so brilliant or whatever. They're so good at fucking you because they don't do nothing except sit around and not give you a raise while you do all the damn work. So for these last 30 years or so, instead of getting raises, they just gave us credit. They gave you credit cards. And, the American dream, everyone wants to keep up with the Kardashians. You see your neighbor, they got a car, you want a car, so you want to have your car, your house, and continue to maintain your standard of living here. And when you can't afford it, because you're not getting increase in wages, then you start taking on debt. People started taking these credit cards and going into debt. So previously, back in the day, your parents would save up. They could do that save and they have a little cushion. Now people don't have nothing to fall back on except the damn debt, except the loans that they took out. So you've got these CEOs that are getting all this money from your hard work, which should have been your raise for the last 30 years, which would have been your retirement, your child's college tuition, which would have been the money that should have been in your bank so that when something like COVID or an emergency happened, you would have that money to fall back on and then you wouldn't have lost your home. You wouldn't have uh, had to foreclose on your home. You would have been able to. You would have had a little cushion, you know, in case something happened. But you got debt. You got these loans. That's what's happened. Um, so whereas we should have been getting an increase in salary or increase in wages, the CEOs were getting that money for your increased productivity. And what do these rich people do with the money? Nothing. It just sits there. Well, actually, what they do is the banks and the government, they don't have the money really to back up these loans or whatever, this money that they say they have. So what these CEOs do is they buy the liability. They buy these cash bonds or these promissory notes from the federal government, from the bank. And so now these CEOs have influence over the bank and over the government. And what the government was saying was like, hey, you buy these $20 million worth of liability or whatever, promissory notes, and you buy it from us, we'll give it back to you with interest. You know what I mean? So these CEOs they already got money. It doesn't do nothing. It just sits in a bank. So that's what's messing up the economy, because you got all these rich people, this very, very small minority of people getting all the money from your hard work, and they don't do nothing with the money. It just sits there. They got all the money, and that's why the economy is stagnating, because we need the employees, the workers need the money. They will spend that money on their car, to pay their car note, to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage, to buy food, to support their families. But we can't do that because you got some greedy corporate CEOs taking all the credit for your hard work. That should have been your money. That was your race. See, what happened was, they used to have these labor unions. See, that's why they don't like these labor unions. See, the labor unions would come, and they had so much pull, so much force, because they had such a large, amount of participation. They don't want labor unions. They don't want to do that, because then, all these strikes and stuff, and then nobody works, and then they can't make money off of your hard work, off of your slave labor. So that's the problem. That is the problem, is that we didn't get raises. However, our productivity increased, but the wages did not. The only people that got raises were the CEOs. They took all the credit for everyone else's hard work, for, the greatness of America, the building of America, and these companies was from your hard work. But the CEOs, they take credit for everything, and they don't do no damn work. They just take the credit. They just say, oh, I'm a genius, I'm brilliant, this is all because of me. I made all this happen. I'm so great. That's why I need a $20 million salary, and you're getting $20,000 a year, and they're getting $20 million a year for doing nothing, for your hard work. And that's why we are in an economic crisis right now, because you got a very small minority of people getting all the money. And then what happened on top of that? They gave themselves a tax break. Trump gave them all a tax break. All the rich people, you get a tax break. And that's another reason why the economy is messed up, because this very small amount of rich people they're not even paying taxes. So, the federal government is not collecting the money that should have been there, to pay for, services, housing assistance, food stamps, whatever, just to pay for roads, to pay government employees, to pay for teachers' salaries. police department, firefighters, government employees, courthouse employees, stuff like that. Um, so now, what used to happen is, even the people would fall back on the stock market, and that's why the stocks are going down now too. There is nothing to back it up. You got the companies, like everything. There's no money to back it up. The banks don't have the money, and if like I run a tax business, and the IRS was, we were checking the refund dates and saying the money was sent, and we called, and the money never showed up. And so, some of my customers, they were like, oh, it says it was sent, but I didn't get the money. And we called up the IRS, and they said, oh, well, it says, when you check it, yeah, on your end, when you check it, it says the refund was sent. We never sent the money. We have a hold on it for 30 days because we don't have the money. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. The federal government doesn't even have the money. That's why there's delay on taxes this year. They don't have the damn money. And then they gave out all this stimulus money, all this fucking unemployment. Like, the economy is in really bad shape because they gave out everybody all this unemployment, all these PPP stimulus loans and stuff like that. Like, the government's stretched out. The economy is stretched out right now. And another thing is, like, with the inflation now, why does inflation occur? It's the only reason inflation occurs is because of a small group of people, the board of directors, the CEOs, decide to increase the cost of their product. And who pays for it? You, the consumer. It's not because, oh, we want to give our employees want an increase in wages, because we know that's a lie. Because we know minimum wage has not gone up. We know that you're not giving out raises at your companies. That's bullshit. And you can say, oh, well, the cost of materials has gone up. So what? That does not increase the cost of the product. You can keep the cost of the product the same, but you're just going to have to suck up the cost, of the materials. That's just a part of doing business. But no, they don't want to do that. They say, you're going to pay for it. So yeah, the cost of materials might have gone up. Lumber might be a little more expensive, but we're going to make you pay for it. There are some businesses out here, people that own businesses, that are not increasing, the cost of their products. Because they said, I know, this is a bad time. After 2 years of people being unemployed and suffering from this COVID pandemic, we don't want to increase the cost of our services because we know times are tough. So we're gonna eat that up, just so that we can keep our prices reasonable for you, the consumer. But not these big companies. Not these companies increasing their prices. They said, for the last 2 years during this pandemic, we did not meet our goals, our expectations. We didn't see this pandemic coming. So we did not meet our quotas, our profits that we thought we were going to get. And so now they're trying to take advantage of you after this, after everybody out here done suffered, lost their jobs, on unemployment, people losing their homes, homeless, getting kicked out, can't pay their rent, can't pay their bills, on government assistance. Now they're saying, you know what? Now we're going to increase our prices because we need to make up for those 2 years that we didn't you know, get as much money because, of the pandemic, because, the economy was shut down. So instead of just saying, hey, leaving it like that, they're like, no, they're trying to make you pay for it now because they didn't meet their desired profit. They're like, oh, we're going to make it up. And we're going to make it up, you know, just because their business was bad, because they had a bad business day, because they had bad business for the last 2 years. That's not your fault. That's nobody's fault. But they're trying to make you pay for it now with this so-called inflation. And that's just all inflation is the CEOs, the board of directors decided to increase the price of their commodity or services. That's what inflation is. It's that simple. You can say, oh, call it. They make up all the excuses in the world of why they need to increase their prices. It's just because of they want more profit. The cost of goods or whatever, are increasing. So eat it up. That's just a part of doing business. But no, they're not going to do that. They're going to make you pay for it because just because their business is going bad, they're going to make you pay for it though. That's another reason why we are in an economic crisis. People don't have the money. People lost their jobs. They're on unemployment. Employment is running out. And now you got these damn greedy companies that are increasing their prices when people really just don't have the money. And we're already in a bad situation. People already are struggling to pay their bills, their rent, mortgage, to make ends meet. And that's why you have this increase of organized crime. People stealing jewelry, clothes, whatever. People are stealing goddamn baby formula, food. That's how bad it is out here. That's why everybody is starting their own businesses now. Everybody's got their own business now. Because you can't make a decent living working for a company now. Because they haven't gave out a goddamn raise in over 30 years, and minimum wage is not increased. Man, it's been up like $1. Like the last 30 years went up like maybe $2 or something like that in 40 years. But these damn CEOs are getting like $20 million raises. Because their company's doing so good. Because they're not paying you jack shit. When they should have been giving you a raise. Because you've been such a good employee. But now they're not doing that. They say you need to go take out a credit card loan. You're going to go get into debt. That's on you. We can't help you. See, people, we all need to come together instead of being like, oh, well, people are, they don't think about everyone else in society. They think about themselves. Well, fuck it, I'll take that job for $10. You don't want to do it for $10, I'll do it. That's why the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. It's like the cost of living is going up and the wages are not going up. And the CEOs are just giving themselves raises. They're getting all the money from your hard work. This is why we are in an economic crisis. You did have COVID. But this has been 30 years coming. This is the outcome. This is the result of corporate greed. That is the reason why, the stock market is shit now. It can't even bounce back now. Look around you. Look at all the homeless. Look at all the homeless people. Look at, you know, everybody's got credit card debt. Everybody. Everyone's in debt. And it's all because they should have, if they would have got a decent wage and paid what they were supposed to be getting, they would have had the money to fall back on. They wouldn't have had to default on their mortgage and lose their damn homes and get kicked out of their damn apartments because they can't afford the rent. That's all because they weren't getting paid what they should have been getting paid. The CEOs were getting that money. That's why we are in an economic crisis. The CEOs are getting all the money and they're just letting it sit there. They're not doing nothing with it. That's what rich people do. They just save their money. They don't buy nothing. That's what rich people do. They just hold the money. That's how you become rich. By accumulating the money, holding on to it, letting it pile up. But the people that need the money, that will boost the economy, that will actually spend it, that have bills they need to pay, are not getting the money. So it's because of this corporate greed, because of a very small minority of people that got all the money for your hard work. That's why we are in an economic crisis. And I hope it comes back to bite these motherfuckers in the ass. We all need to come back together. Come together and take what they owe us. They owe you. They owe us that money. They should have been giving it to you. But these greedy motherfuckers and see, the solution to the problem, we need to come together, labor unions, get the increase in wages so that everyone can pay the rent, their debts, their mortgage. Another thing is, they need to pay their damn taxes, their fair share of taxes. They got a damn tax break. That's why the government don't have the damn money. That's why the government and the banks are fucked up. Because the government is funding the banks and the government ain't got the money. They're not collecting. We're paying, the poor people are the ones paying all the taxes. We didn't get no tax break. The rich people got a tax break. And another thing I was touching on is supply and demand. You know, usually the Republicans are supposed to be, they don't want, Democrats are always associated with, public housing, food stamps, socialism or whatever, getting help from the government or whatever. And Republicans are associated with these rich people, the rich elite or whatever. And I was talking about, look at a Republican state like Texas. See, this is what happens when you don't vote and you let these Republicans get in office and they start passing laws like abortion, anti-abortion laws. Number one, that's a woman's right. That is nobody's goddamn decision, nobody's fucking business, except that man and that woman that is having that child. Matter of fact, it's the woman's. It's up to that woman. That's her body. You don't have a goddamn say in what that woman does. I don't give a fuck how Christian you are or how pro-life you are. You have all the goddamn babies you want to. But don't you dare force somebody else to have a damn child. Are you gonna fucking raise that child? Are you going to take care of that child? No, because you're a Republican and you don't believe in government assistance. We want to cut food stamps. We want to cut public housing. So you're going to make this lady have a baby, which she cannot financially support. And you ain't going to help her out. So why the fuck are you worried about making her have the damn baby? Why? Because this is all part of the bigger scheme of things. See, Republicans, these are like the old slave masters. Like, these old white Republicans use these old rich white folk. You know, they parents was slave owners and stuff like that. They want, and what did they do on these slave plantations? They forced the slaves to breed. Why? Because it increases their stock. Now you got more free labor. That's the same thing right now. That's why it behooves them to have anti-abortion stuff. They want you to have a bunch of babies that you can't fucking take care of. Because now, guess what? They got to go to work. Now you increase the supply of workers and there's no increase in the amount of jobs. So you are forced to work for whatever fucking wage they decide to pay you, which is nothing. You know why? You know why? Look, I don't even like to get into race and politics and stuff like that. We still have modern day slavery, right? But you know why they finally, you know, passed bills to get slaves or, you know, black Americans free. If they did not do that, the slaves, the black people, they were going to end up taking over America. They started having so many uprisings because you had so many slaves and you were breeding them. So now you had 10 slaves. Now you got 20. Now you got 30. Now you got 50 fucking slaves. But you still just one person. That is why they passed the law so that you could have guns. It was because to keep the slaves in check. Because you had slaves that were massacring their masters' families. You got tired of that shit. And rightfully so. And I'm glad that they slaughtered their master's family. Because you sat there and you raped their women and their children and you sold them. And you fucking beat them. And you worked them for nothing. Treated them like shit. Oh, you deserve every bit of that, whatever comes to you. The reason why they granted or they passed this anti-slavery or got rid of slavery, because they know it's about to come back and bite them in the ass. Because the black population was starting to increase drastically. And they could not fucking control them anymore. They got scared. Because what was going to happen was a major fucking uprising and revolution. And all the blacks was going to come together. And they were going to kill every motherfucker, every white person in the South. That's what was going to happen. Eventually, that is what would have happened. Black folk was going to take over the whole United States. That is what would have happened. Because you were breeding them out of control. Because you got greedy. And now you got so many of them, you can't fucking control them. There's too many of them. And that's what's going on now. It ain't about black and white. It's about rich versus poor. You got so many people out here that are poor now. You fucking can't control the shit. That's why you got organized crime. That's why people coming together and starting to rob y'all motherfuckers and rob y'all businesses of your jewelry and your clothes and your Gucci and shit. And they smashing and grabbing your shit. And I hope they continue that shit. And I hope they take all your shit. Because you a greedy motherfucker. And I hope they rob you fucking blind. Because you are the reason for the shit that's going on now. Because you was greedy. We all got to stick together, man. We need to come together and make these motherfuckers pay, man. We need to come together, organize, get these labor unions, and get the wages that you should have been getting, man. That's your child's tuition. That's your fucking mortgage. That's your house payment. That was your rent. That's the reason why you lost your home. That's why you homeless now. Because these motherfuckers ain't been paying you what you should have been getting paid. You got a very fucking small minority of people that's got all the money now. And they just letting it sit there. They not doing nothing with it. They not helping nobody. This is the time where the government should actually come in and say, hey, this is a emergency. We gonna need you to come up off that money. This is the precedent for it. This is the only time. This is unprecedented times. The government needs to come in and take that money from them. Say, hey, you need to pay a tax. If the government don't do it, shit, I know some motherfucking brothers, you know what I'm saying, that'll run up in your shit. Bitch, I might be one of them. We find out where you stay, bro. Shit. That's why we in an economic crisis, because you got some greedy motherfuckers. That been getting paid to fuck you in the ass. They've been getting paid very well to fuck you, to keep you on the bottom, to make things harder on you, to raise. They decide to raise the prices, make this inflation occur, and not pay a decent wage and not give out raises when they should have. Because they've been profiting big time off of your hard work. But no. And then they get in power. Then they start passing laws, taking away your civil liberties, taking away your rights, like a woman's right to an abortion. Now you got these young, uneducated kids coming up. And they're not going to go to college. They ain't got no money for school. Because their parents wasn't getting paid the wages that they should have been getting. If they were getting paid a decent wage, they could have sent their kid to college. But now, they got to go to work with the mom and dad to flip them burgers together. So now you got the whole family, you know what I'm saying, working at McDonald's or whatever. They out here struggling, man. Wouldn't be like that, man, if they had got a decent wage. People cannot survive on these low poverty salaries, this bullshit minimum wage. Like I said, that's why you got so many people starting up their own businesses. That's why I went into business for myself a long time ago. I went to college because I know I was never going to fucking make it working for somebody else. You think my house would have been paid off? You know what I'm saying? My house is paid off. My house is paid off when I was 35 years old. I got 7 vehicles, 8 cars. They all paid off. since I was 35. I'm the youngest cat on my block. All my shit paid for. Because I started my own business. You know what I'm saying? I run my own tax business. I run my own automotive mechanic service. My neighbors is like 50, 60 years old. They still paying mortgage. They shit not paid for. They still got another 10 years to pay. But that's because they working for the man. They not running their own business. And see, like, when I started off, as a mechanic, I was only getting paid $10 an hour with a degree to do oil changes. And I had a degree. You know what I mean? They had me training people. I was in charge. I was training people, before I got moved up or whatever. And you ask them about me at the Chevy dealership. Bitch, I turned goddamn 80 hours a week, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, constantly, every week, killing it, making everybody look bad. And meanwhile, these guys has been there for 10, 15 years. They struggling to get goddamn 30 hours. I was out there killing that shit. And they was paying me like $20 an hour on commission. Because I'm a young line tech. So more experienced mechanics, they making like $30 an hour on commission. But they want you to be ASC certified, GM certified, all this certification, and you got to have 15 years of experience just to get $30 an hour on commission. Bitch, I don't need no certification, whatever. I charge $60 an hour, and I get that easy. And I'm so damn good and so fast, I make like $100 an hour working for myself. But I'm over here goddamn, getting paid $18, $20 on commission at the dealership, and they're charging $140. Out of $140 that they charging, they're giving me $20. They're taking that $120 and putting it in their damn pocket. Guess who that's going to? The fucking CEO. Yeah, a couple, costs and stuff like that. You got to pay for the lights and all this shit like that. Pay for the fucking Starbucks machine and shit like that. The fucking coffee that all the, sales department and everybody and all the customers come in. Pay for all the little lunch and shit like that we don't ever get to eat. They paying me $20 an hour commission, and they charging $140. They give me $20, and they keep $120 for every hour that I work, that I'm busting my ass up there for. Nah, baby. I'm about to take your business. I'm gonna start my own damn business, and I'm gonna charge $60 an hour. I'm competition now. And I make hella way more money working for myself than I ever did working at. Bro, I was at the dealership like I lived there. I work 3 days now, and I make more money than if I worked 7 fucking days at the dealership. Because they wasn't paying me a decent wage. They wasn't paying me what they should have been paying me. And now you got a motherfucking problem. Bitch, I'm the problem now. I'm competition now. I'm your competition now. It wouldn't be like that if you would have paid me what you should have been paying me. But nah, y'all some greedy motherfuckers, and y'all don't want to goddamn come up off that money, man. So that's why you got all these people. And I encourage y'all to start your own business. Bitch, if you work at McDonald's, you know how to make a motherfucking burger. Goddamn, they paying you what, $7, $8 an hour? Fuck that. Take your food stamp card, go copy you some goddamn meat and some buns and shit, You can set up your own goddamn burger stand, bruh. Like, everyone is out here is killing it, doing this, selling food, man. Like, that's one of the biggest things. Like, you see everybody on Facebook starting up their own goddamn catering food business. Like, you out here working for these goddamn businesses, you know what I'm saying, Starbucks or whatever. Motherfucker, you can sell coffee too. You can sell some damn coffee. You can take all that damn money and put it in your pocket too. 100% of profits is yours for your hard work. Why you gonna go work for somebody when you can start up your own business doing the same goddamn thing and make 3, 4, 5, 10 times much more money? You know what I'm saying? Doing the same shit that you've been doing. But instead of working for somebody else and making them rich, work for yourself, man. Start your own business. That's the problem. And that's how we get rid of, oh, we got all these employees out here and we don't have enough jobs. It's because everyone's trying to work for these fucking companies. Fuck them companies. You start your own goddamn company. You become the competition. You ain't got to work for them. You can start your own business. You start taking their business. Because you're so goddamn good at doing your job and making them money. Imagine what you could do for yourself. Imagine what you could do for yourself. Because you in there busting your ass, making them all that money. Man, when I worked at McDonald's, man, I made like $300 a week, working 40 hours a week, when I got out of prison. $300 a week, working 40 hours a week, you know what I'm saying, fresh out of prison. Bro, $300. You make that in like a half a day selling your own burgers. A half a day. $300, man, they make that in less than an hour at the drive-thru. You make $300 in less than an hour at the drive-thru at McDonald's. Imagine what you could do on your own. Oh, you can make $300 in a few hours selling burgers on your own. Easy. Easy. Man, I went down to Archway Burger the other day. They only open from 11 p.m. until 3 p.m. Like, through the weekdays. 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 4 hours they open, right? And them 4 hours, oh, I know they making at least 2 bands. 4, 5 bands in 4 hours. That's $1,000 an hour. Cause I was there for like 10 minutes and I paid $50. You know what I'm saying, for me and my girl. Plus I got but I got a couple beers and shit like that. I paid $50, $60. And I was there for 10 minutes. And the place is steady crowded. Start your own business, man. Apply pressure. You become the competition. Stop working for these other people, making them rich, man. Work for yourself, make your own self, make yourself rich, man. Ain't nobody gonna pay you. These companies not gonna take care of you. They're not gonna pay you what you're worth. They've been fucking you for the last goddamn ever since the 70s. They've been fucking you, taking away your medical, your dental, your retirement. They don't even give that shit out at these companies no more. Fuck them. You become the competition now. Start your own business. Stop working for them, making them rich. Work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna get rid of this huge supply of labor. I'm not working for nobody. I'm not going to work for nobody. I'm not going to be part of that labor pool. I'm not going to add to the problem. I am the solution. I am the solution. I started my own business. I made way more money than I ever did working for anybody. I could take I could take goddamn 2, 3, 4 months off, not do nothing, and I'm good. I could take the whole summer off, man, if I wanted to. But I'm a goddamn hustler. I'm gonna go get it, you know. You could do the same goddamn thing, man. Shit, you want them mechanic shit? I'll send you some business. You want some goddamn motor swaps, transmission swaps, head gaskets? I'm gonna send them to you, baby. You can have all of that shit. I'm just doing the easy shit now. I ain't about to be out here busting my ass working hard, baby. I'm working smart. You need to be smart, man. Hey, but if you know the truth, you know what I'm saying? If you see the truth, you realize what I'm spitting is the truth. If you know what I'm saying, if you appreciate the content, you know, the advice that I'm giving you, you know what I'm saying, if you appreciate this juice I got, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to the video, man. Subscribe to my channel, like the video. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I'm gonna quit making videos, man. I ain't gotta drop this knowledge on you, man. I ain't gotta teach you how to get it, man. I ain't gotta teach nobody how I'm out here getting this money, showing you how I'm getting it. Cause I'm sharing these automotive videos, you know, I'm showing you how to do it. I'm showing you how the game, man. I'm showing you how to make this money. And you can do the same thing. And even bigger, better things. See, you need all these tools to be a mechanic or whatever. You don't need nothing to start your own food business, man. You go get you some burgers and some meat, some chicken, some grease. Fry that shit up. Got them cutting grass or something like that, man. Start your own landscaping business. Cleaning service. Mopping a broom. I know people that started their own cleaning service, you know, and the way that you do that, you know, like you start your own cleaning service, you know, you do residential house. You need to start going to these car dealerships and these businesses, and you need to write up a contract. You need to find out what they're paying. You know, you can talk to the managers. They'll tell you how much they're paying a month for these cleanings. So usually it's a couple $1,000s. When I was at the Chevy dealership, they had a contract. They were paying the guy like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. He'd come in there every night, clean for about 2 hours. That's it. He didn't clean nothing. He had other people that he was paying like $10 an hour to do all the damn work. You got 2 people getting paid $10 an hour. They work for like 3 hours. So you just pay them $30, $60 a night. You do the math. $60 a night. But you getting paid a couple thousand. You getting paid over $1,000 a week. But so 60 times 5, that's what, $300 a week that you pay them, but you got $1,000 for that week for not doing nothing. Cause you pay them $300 to do the work, but you on a contract for $1,000 every week. You know what I'm saying? Start your own cleaning service, man. And see, and you ain't even got to clean. You can hire somebody, like I said, to do all the work for you. Pay them $10 an hour. And now you paying $300 a week, but you getting up $1,000. You putting $700 in your pocket for nothing. For not doing nothing. Just hiring the people, going in there, setting up the contract, going over what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Starting your own cleaning business. Like, there's so much stuff you can do, man. And you can do it for yourself, and you ain't got to do it for nobody else. Stop making everybody else rich off of your hard work. Work for yourself, man. Make yourself rich. You got to go out and get it, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe to videos, man. Peace.